Winter in Minnesota, as a car enthusiast, really sucks. Exhibit A, the weather does stuff like this.
I cannot really been addicted to you. All of my attention I've been giving to you.
Hey guys, welcome back to this week's episode of the Weekly Discussion, where we talk about anything really that's automotive related, tool related, car culture, all that good stuff. And this week I wanted to bring this to you because a lot of us in Minnesota are still holed up working on our projects, working on the vehicles that we love, because it's Minnesota and it's winter and the weather absolutely sucks. If you saw that first clip at the beginning of the video, that is my father's Land Cruiser, which is FJ80, and the tarp building in a blizzard that we had got absolutely destroyed. Now the tarp building's only there right now because he's building his dream shop, which, with everything going on in the world right now, we can't get garage doors, we can't get siding, we can't get windows for like 18 more weeks. So, not done yet, but this weather, and especially this winter, has been absolutely brutal. And the question I wanted to bring to you guys today is, why as car enthusiasts do we do some of the things that we do? Why do we insist to do them ourselves instead of paying someone to do it or just buying a part? And I think the answer is pretty simple, and I think a lot of you guys are going to agree with me on this, but there is just a sense of pride that you get from doing something yourself. As you can see in the clip I'm about to show you, working on the Audi TT front bumper, this thing was absolutely horrendous. I mean, there was so much damage on this front bumper. You can see it right here. Big holes, cracks everywhere. And on top of not wanting to buy one and shell out the money to buy a used part for $400 or $500 plus shipping, I take pride in doing some of this stuff myself. You can see here how much better this looks, and if you followed that journey at all, you kind of know what went into doing this. It's a lot of elbow grease, but you get to stand back and be like, holy cow, I did that. So I think a lot of you can relate to that. I mean, it's just something that we like to see the fruits of our labor, right? And like I said, it's winter time right now, so it's not like you can be out driving the car around. So it's a great time, it's a great off season just to kind of hole up in the garage, hole up in the shop, and work on some of these things and improve the cars, right? I love the analogy that everyone is an artist. Every single person on earth, it just might not be painting, you know? And for a lot of us, I think our art is our cars. That's where we express ourselves. That's where we get to customize. That's where we get, you know, even just for a moment in this crazy life, we get to be in complete control of something, and it can be completely as the way that we want it. So I think there's beauty in that. All right, total impromptu, guys, but I had to get this in here. Like, look at this thing. Can you say Gambler 500 ready to swerve and deflect? This guy might be my spirit animal. We had a pretty busy week this week. I booked 4 new appointments for next week. I have one customer that I still have to finish up. We revisited the E350, so we will talk about that in the vlog episode, as well as a little more in-depth detail on the Audi front bumper that I just showed you some clips of. That's getting really close to being able to paint. This stuff takes time, and that's what I said, you know, it comes back to being a pride thing, because when you do this, 9 times out of 10 you work on anything that's not like a strict OEM repair, it's going to take you a lot longer to do, you know, body work, custom work, than you originally thought it was going to. And that's going to bring me to my friend Andy's VR6 turbo swapped Civic. Give me 1 second, let me do this for you guys. I'm gonna drop a clip in here so you can just kind of put a name to a face and recognize the car I'm talking about. What do we got, Andy?
This is a Volkswagen VR6.
Oh my god.
2.8, 6-cylinder.
And as far as you know, there's not a VR6 swapped Civic that's documented, right?
That's documented. No, there is one out there that I've seen pictures of.
And when
But that is non-turbo, just basic.
And what size turbo is this?
It's a 3582R. So Garrett core.
So that's Andy's Civic, and what I was working on this week, very unusual. And again, this is the beauty of running my own automotive repair shop now, right? You guys know I dabble in detailing, I'll do a little bit of body work, automotive repair, but I get to work on these awesome custom projects as well. And Andy needed 2 half-inch aluminum throttle adapters for the VR6 to be mated up and make everything work in conjunction with this Civic shell, right? So I told him I'm not gonna weld the pipe on there because I can weld steel, kinda, you know, I'm not a welder, but I can weld steel decently. Aluminum's a whole nother beast, so I did not want to get into that, but I told him I'd make him the plates. And I'm also not a machinist, like by any stretch of the imagination, but I was like, you know what? I want to see something that I put time and effort and energy into go into a project that's like a one-off part. So, you know, we had bandsaws, hacksaws, Dremel tools, a drill press. I used all of that stuff. Absolutely by no means was it any of the correct tools to actually do this job, but we got it done, and it was really cool that I got to be a part of such a wild swap like this. And I think that's what makes us car guys. You know, we don't always want to take the easier route, and this is something that Andy wanted done right away. I mean, could have he went to a machine shop? Yes. But the one machine shop that he talked to was booked out so far that he would have had to wait a long time, and he wants this thing to get going. So he told me right off the bat, he said, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm going to freehand it basically, so I knew it wasn't going to be perfect. I'm going to drop one more picture in here, and you can see when you look at this, you know, it's not perfect. The plate that's on the backside was very thin, so I left a lot of the extra material on there just so that there's extra material there when the intake piping gets welded onto these two pieces, because I figured, you know, we want as minimal amount of warpage as possible. So if I leave a little extra material on there, it should reduce the chances of having any of that excess warpage. I was really happy with the top plate. And like I said, you guys, I didn't do any of this the proper way. I have a lathe out in my garage. I don't have all of the tooling I need for it, and I'm not that confident with it yet. So I literally did this like measure 15 times, cut once, you know, cut a little bit less off than you think you need, and then I just tried to make it look as nice as I could. And ultimately, you guys, I just really like the idea that, you know, there's a custom one-off project out there, and like I said, it's art. This is like our way as car guys to express ourselves, really. And if I get to be a part of that, and I know that there's only one part like that in the entire world, it gives me a sense of pride to know that I got to help this project come to life. So I'm super excited to see this piece all welded up, and then I left the holes really small on purpose. Those are going to have to get drilled out, but I figured then if we have to tweak them at all once that pipe gets welded up, it'll be easier to do it when we just have our pilot holes versus have the entire thing done. A lot of times you're not even going to get, you know, near perfect results that you would get if you bought a product or you had somebody else make it, or you took it to a professional to have things, you know, painting, all that stuff done. But I just think there's such a certain sense of pride that comes with doing some of these things for yourself. You know, you step back, yeah, maybe your paint job's not perfect, but if you did it yourself, I guarantee you're going to be a lot more proud of it, even if you could afford to send it to a paint shop and drop, you know what, 10 grand on a nice paint job. If you painted it yourself, I guarantee you that's something you're going to be proud of, and you should be proud of it. That's why we're car guys, right? And it also has to do with increasing our skill set, learning new skills, meeting people. The experience, I think, is worth a lot more than having a perfect result. If you buy a car that's already all done up, to me personally, and really to any other car enthusiast, we want to make them our own. You know, we don't want to buy something it's never going to seem perfect to you unless you put your own touch on it. So I just think that, you know, especially in the winter time, this is the perfect time to take on some of these projects, challenge your skills, challenge your brain, and be proud of something that you put out there, even if it's not perfect. You know, it's always going to be better the second time. So I guarantee you, if I ever have to do one of these again, there's a lot of things that I learned, there's a lot of things I would do a little bit differently next time. But I want to give Andy a shout out and just say I'm really grateful that you let me be a part of this project. I'm super excited to see it done. We'll obviously definitely take you guys for a ride along in the turboed VW swap Civic eventually, you know, once that's all done and all the kinks are worked out. It's really cool, and like I said, you guys, to me, this stuff is like art. It's our way to express ourselves. So I want you to let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of this? Would you rather go take something and get it done somewhere where you know it's going to be 100% correct? Or are you more like me and you're willing to take on some of these things and try your best and just kind of see what happens and try to learn a new part of the craft? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, you guys, we are getting close to 2,000 subscribers. As I mentioned last week, we are going to be doing a tool giveaway once we get to 2,000 subscribers. Only criteria for entering is just to be subscribed to the channel. So if you haven't done that, subscribe if you have not already, and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a video. Drop a like up on this video. It really helps me out, you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.